Hey fight fans, today in this video, Khabib Nurmagomedov has decided to move away from all projects related to the world of martial arts, including promotional and coaching. This shocking information was reported by numerous sources close to the fighter's team, and Nurmagomedov himself also confirmed this. So we're going to see what's going on.
I don't think that Khabib's done. I don't. I think there's a misinterpretation here. I think there was clickbait going on.
Also, later on in the video, Mairbek Taysumov is preparing Volkanovskiy for the fight of the year. Now, from this very first glance, there is nothing special about this, but many fans of Makhachev have considered this a betrayal. Why? Because the Chechen lightweight Mairbek Taysumov will imitate the style of Islam Makhachev. For example, lightweight Arman Tsarukyan refused to emulate the style of Islam and help Volkanovski's team, because in the eyes of Makhachev's fans, this, well, it's just not fair. So let's see what's really going on. Islam Makhachev, who will be defending his title next month against Alexander Volkanovski, is not ruling out that this fight could go the whole distance. And Volkanovski himself plans to end the fight by knockout in the second round, but he also admitted that the fight could turn out to go the full 25 minutes. And Dustin Poirier, well, he thinks that at lightweight Volkanovski will be a little small, but he could still beat Makhachev. But before we kick off the video, I just want to ask you guys, please do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We greatly appreciate it, so thank you in advance. So get ready for an epic event on the night of February 11th at RAC Arena in Perth, Australia. The main event attracts special attention, in which the real champions will be entering the octagon. Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski are set to clash, and no doubt to be the most important bout of their lives, and both fighters have already commenced vigorous preparation for this fight. And it also turns out that the camp of Volkanovski, one of the Chechen fighters arrived to help Volkanovski defeat Makhachev. That's right, Mairbek Taysumov is one of the main sparring partners of Alexander Volkanovski, imitating the style of Islam Makhachev. Now, Taysumov does not just help the Australian team with advice. It became known that the lightweight is also one of the main sparring partners of Volkanovski. From first glance, there is nothing special about this, but many fans of Makhachev are considering this a betrayal, because to them, Volkanovski's team is receiving a very strong assistant. But most importantly, he can teach Volkanovski the secrets about Chechen wrestling, which he can then use in the fight against Islam. He can work in the standing position and even in stalls. And judging by the video footage, it does appear that this will be the main focus of his training. Since Taysumov is very familiar with Makhachev in the physical form, Alexander will feel the potential takedowns that could occur in the fight with Makhachev. Everyone understands that Taysumov is a dangerous weapon in Volkanovski's camp, as he practically copies Islam. Perhaps a couple of centimeters smaller, but with the help of it, Alexander can work out all the negative scenarios in the next month. And then, it is going to be incredibly difficult for Makhachev to be able to beat Volkanovski, even in front of that native audience. And therefore, Makhachev's fans really do not like this. For example, just a few days earlier, Russian lightweight Arman Tsarukyan refused the same invitation, because he understands that in the eyes of Makhachev's fans, this isn't fair. But he justified his refusal in a different way. He explained that he had vacation scheduled right now, and even if they offered dividends in the form of payment, he would still refuse. But what do you think? Do you think that this is considered an act of betrayal? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. And we are moving on. Islam Makhachev's coach Javier Mendez doesn't think the fight against Alexander Volkanovski will be such a cakewalk. Yes, I expect that in the end, Islam Makhachev will be the best fighter regardless of weight, both in the UFC and in the world. It will be a 5-round war, said the head of the American Kickboxing Academy in an interview. Now, the day before, the Russian lightweight also made it clear that he was preparing for a protracted duel with the Australian by posting a photo from the training camp in the Elbrus region, where he develops his endurance and lack of oxygen. So in order to increase his endurance, the Russian fighter arrived at the training camp at the highest point in Europe. Islam Makhachev published a new post about it on social media showing a photo from the vicinity of Elbrus. "We need to stock up on oxygen for 5 rounds, Makhachev signed the photo. Now, a few days earlier, Volkanovski announced that he planned to end the fight ahead of schedule and knock out Makhachev in the second round. But again, he did admit that the fight could go the full 25 minutes. Former interim UFC lightweight champ Dustin Poirier thinks that Alexander Volkanovski can beat Makhachev. I think at lightweight, Volkanovski will be a little small, but he can still win. He is still capable of doing it. Alex will be smaller compared to Makhachev. Islam is big, strong, and powerful. So of course, there are always chances in the sport, but in this case, I would bet on Makhachev. Who would you guys bet on? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. And moving on, Khabib Nurmagomedov, who ended his professional career 2 years ago, has now decided to move away from all projects related to the world of martial arts, including any type of promoting and coaching. This was reported by numerous sources close to the fighter's team, and Nurmagomedov himself indirectly confirmed this information by publishing a corresponding statement on social media. And well, needless to say, this information came as a huge shock to many. On social media, the Russian posted a team photo saying, "We spent the results of the year. The year, of course, turned out to be very eventful and successful. Take care, brothers. I hope my decision will only benefit. A big hug to you all. Thank you. You have been a big reason for my success in sports." Now, as you probably already know, 2 years ago, Nurmagomedov acquired the Guerrilla Fighting Championship, which he began to promote under the Eagle FC brand, and also continued his father's coaching. Now, I can't believe this, but Khabib is now leaving after getting Islam Makhachev and his brother to UFC and Bellator championships. But I can't believe that Khabib is actually doing this. But it turns out that it's true. Maybe he's just tired of all the drama. So many nerves, different experiences, the huge responsibility, everyone running around him. Khabib, help me with this. Khabib, help me with that. Maybe he's just fed up with everything. But in any case, he had already made his decision. Most importantly, he carried out his father's plan, so he can easily retire. But I do know one thing for sure. This decision will have a huge impact on the careers of Islam, Usman, and Umar.
I gotta tell you, maybe I got a question more than I do a statement. Did Khabib just leave MMA? I don't think that Khabib's done. I don't. I think there's a misinterpretation here. I think there was clickbait going on. If Khabib were to step aside, if he were to step aside from coaching or to leave the gym, does a lot of work at the AKA, of course, with Javier Mendez, Daniel Cormier, by example. If Khabib was to return home to Dagestan and just stay in that region with his family, spend a little bit more time there, the reason this would be such big news is if that is in fact what Khabib said, which that's not my interpretation, not yet at least. But if it is what he said, it's what he'll do. We don't have anybody in this sport, few men alive, that if they say something, they follow through more than Khabib. This guy is like Midas. Whatever he touches is turned to gold. I don't think that Khabib's done. I don't. I think there's a misinterpretation here. I think there was clickbait going on.
So what do you think? Leave your thoughts down in the comments, and that is all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And remember, this is very important, so thank you in advance.